You've suffered long enough. You've cried in silence, carried weight nobody could see, and still walked with your head up. You've given when you had little, loved when your heart was breaking, and believed when everything around you screamed, give up. And now comes the shift. This is not just another motivational message. This is your confirmation, because what you've endured wasn't in vain. What broke you was building you, and heaven was watching the entire time. The wealth is on its way, not just the kind that shows up in your bank account, but the kind that changes your life, the kind that pours into your soul, your spirit, your surroundings. The kind of wealth that restores what was lost, multiplies what was left, and heals what was hidden. You've earned this moment, not through shortcuts or schemes, but through sacred suffering. You've endured betrayal, lack, isolation, rejection. You've walked alone, misunderstood and overlooked. And still, you stayed loyal to the light within you. Still, you chose kindness. Still, you trusted God. And because of that, your name is being whispered in rooms of favor. Doors that were once locked are unlocking on their own. Opportunities that bypassed you are circling back. Blessings that were delayed are now being released. You didn't break. You bent, but you didn't fold. You stumbled, but you didn't quit. And that's why the blessing is coming so heavy, because it has to match the level of your pain. You see, chosen ones don't get the easy road. They get the path that refines them. Because you weren't just called to survive, you were called to carry divine wealth. Not just for yourself, but for your lineage. You're about to break generational curses and unlock generational prosperity. The struggle wasn't punishment, it was preparation. People saw you broke and thought it meant you were broken. But you were being broken open, so that more could be poured into you, so that your capacity would expand, so that your spirit would grow stronger than your situation. And now, because you passed the test, heaven is releasing what's been stored up for you. You thought God forgot about you, but God was reserving something too big to release in your old season. You had to go through the fire so the gold in you could be revealed. You had to be stripped so you could shine without needing anything external. You had to lose the counterfeit to make room for the covenant. And here's the truth. You're not just about to receive wealth. You're about to become the distributor of it. Your hands will hold more than you imagined, but your heart will remain pure, because you know what it's like to have nothing. And that's why God can trust you with everything. You'll build what others said was impossible. You'll help people who once looked down on you. You'll fund dreams, create jobs, change lives, without ever losing yourself. Because this wealth, it's not just currency, it's purpose. This is your comeback, but not just a quiet one. This is the kind of rise that makes people question how you survived. This is the kind of abundance that makes people say, only God could have done that. Because they saw the losses. They saw the pain. They just didn't see the promise that was hidden in it. But you did. Somewhere deep down, you knew. Even when you had nothing to show for it. Even when prayers felt unanswered. Even when the storm wouldn't stop. You still held on. And that faith, that unshakable, relentless faith, that's what activated this overflow. You're not walking into the season of just enough. You're walking into the season of more than enough. You're not stepping into small opportunities. You're being invited into rooms of royalty. You're not begging at closed doors anymore. You're owning the building. Because the wealth that's coming isn't random. It's restitution. It's restoration for everything stolen. It's repayment for every night you cried. It's redemption for every time you were overlooked. The time of scarcity is over. The time of shame is over. The time of survival is over. Now comes the wealth. Now comes the elevation. Now comes the legacy. Not because you were lucky, but because you were loyal. To the process, to the pain, to the purpose. And because of that, heaven has remembered you. The release has been scheduled. The delay has been reversed. And the blessing is already in motion. Don't question it. Don't doubt it. Don't shrink when it shows up. You're ready now. You're aligned now. You're anointed now. This is your moment. This is your reward. You've suffered long enough. Now comes the wealth. You may not see it yet, but the shift has already begun. The people who once overlooked you will soon be the ones watching you in awe. Not because you chased validation, but because favor found you. And when favor finds you, it doesn't knock quietly. It announces itself. It shows up in ways that silence every doubter, every hater, every inner voice that ever whispered you're not enough. You are more than enough. You always were. You just had to walk through the wilderness to remember your worth. And now, every tear you cried has become currency in the spirit. Every sleepless night has become fuel for your rise. Every loss was an investment. And now, heaven is paying you back with interest. You're not just being blessed. You're being restored. The years the enemy tried to steal, they're coming back to you in double portion. The people who tried to dim your light, they're about to see you glow in ways that blind their judgment. The places you were rejected from, they'll open doors you didn't even knock on this time. Because the wealth coming to you isn't from man, it's from God. And when God gives, He doesn't give partially. He gives abundantly. He gives in overflow. He gives so that what pours into your life spills into everyone connected to you. That's why you had to be crushed. Not to kill you, but to create capacity. To make room for the kind of wealth your calling requires. The kind of wealth that breaks chains, funds visions, and shifts generations. You see, ordinary people chase money, but chosen people attract divine provision. Because your wealth isn't just about material things. It's about impact. It's about legacy. It's about purpose. And purpose always comes with provision. God is not sending you into this next season empty-handed. No, He's arming you with abundance. Because your blessing isn't just for you. It's for the people assigned to your destiny. And they're waiting. They're waiting for you to rise. Waiting for your breakthrough to unlock theirs. Waiting for your yes to heaven's call. Waiting for your story of suffering to become their blueprint for hope. So don't shrink. Don't sabotage your blessing by thinking small. Don't apologize for the favor coming your way. You've earned this. Through integrity. Through resilience. Through obedience. Even when it hurt. The wealth that's coming to you is not a reward for perfection. It's a response to your persistence. It's a holy transaction. Heaven saw what you did when nobody was watching. Heaven heard the cries you never shared. Heaven witnessed your sacrifice, and now heaven is saying, it's time. Time to step into abundance without guilt. Time to accept success without fear. Time to embrace overflow without apologizing for it. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. You're not becoming someone new. You're returning to who you always were before the world tried to water you down. You were chosen for this, marked for more, built for breakthrough. And yes, they'll talk. They'll question where it all came from. They'll wonder how someone like you could rise like that. But they weren't there in the dark. They didn't see the nights you almost gave up. They didn't hear the whispered prayers. They didn't feel the battles you fought in silence. But God did. And God never forgets a faithful heart. So this wealth, this overflow, it's not just for celebration. It's confirmation. You are walking proof that suffering doesn't mean separation from God. In fact, sometimes it's the very sign that you're being set apart for something greater. And that something greater is here. The business idea that kept you up at night. Now is the time. The creative gift you buried because life got too hard. Now is the time. The calling you kept ignoring because it felt too big. Now is the exact time. Because heaven's resources are flowing into your life now, not later. Now, you've suffered long enough. And your season of release has arrived. Release from the pain. Release from the weight. Release from the limitation. And release into your birthright. Because yes, wealth is your birthright. Not because of your last name or your background, but because of your divine identity. You are royalty in the Spirit. You are a child of the Most High, and your inheritance was never supposed to be struggle forever. You were born to rise, to build, to bless. So get ready, not just emotionally, spiritually. Prepare your mind, clear your space, speak life again, declare abundance again, and expect miracles again, because this is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your most powerful chapter yet. You've suffered long enough. Now comes the wealth, the kind that makes people look at you and say, "Only God could have done that." And you'll smile, because you'll know it's true. You'll know the pain behind the promise. You'll know the story behind the shine, and you'll walk in it with peace.